stand up, I get up. Apelo moya shona kona. Ahubuluza focus, come on, be a go-getter. Ashona kona, stay focused. Opportunities, you gotta get this, you gotta fight this skills.
No need to take another double look. Yes, ubhekelo nake uhlelo oluthanda kakhulu iSpani bafethu. Yithi noma namhlanje singaphandle sizabe ke sihamba nabantu ke abalaphana ku-advertising industry bafethu. Njengoba ke ngenithi namhlanje isasa kabukhoma khona laphana eVega bafethu. Izinto zabe zenzeka khona la. Wena lapha ekhaya ngithi unganyakazi, hlala kanjalo ngoba ke izinto zabe zenzeka.
Mahasla se ka matsogo a mofutho. iSpani se e khutlile ka a brand new season go tlo le tsebisa ka tsa mesebetsi le go le kgothatsa gore le ye mesebetsing. Je ka ha meke a tshilo re a itlosa season ena.
Kukhangisa kufaka ekhasi indlela tekutsengisa kanye netindlela letihlakaniphile temakhono tsite. Uhlanganise lucwaningo kanye nemicabango yakho. Kuthengisa kanye nekusebenzisa emakhono ngendlela lefanele. Kumakhono kanye nesayensi. Kusabhizinisi tekutijabulisa kanye ke nebhizinisi nje lejwayelekile konke sekuhlanganiswe ndawonye. Kukhangisa kuchasha ingcenye yebantfu labahlakaniphile futhi labanemakhono sibili, bongi, bahloli, badwebi, bakhiciti, babhali kanye ke nabo somabhizinisi lamuhla. Ngaphandle kwelihlangosi letemakhono kude umsebenzi longendiwa. Empeleni nje leli qembu lihamba embili kulomsebenzi lufaka ekhathi umcondzisi wetemakhono kanye nemkobi wetekubhala. Kodwa ke labanemakhono labasebenzisanako bayakhona kusebenza ngekuphumelela njengoba bakhona kukhutsatana baphindze bakwati kupolishisana imibono yabo. Kodwa ke uma wena unetimpepha letikhomba ukuthi cha nembala umsebenzi wakho uyawati futhi muhle sibili futhi ke ukhombisa nemakhono lahamba embili, lokho kungakwenda ukhona ukuthi sebenzela wena ngekwakho ungatsengekelelwa ngumuntu. Wena nje qinisekisa ukuthi uyadithengisa kuqala.
Njengoba ke kugcwele abantu abaningi ababuya ku-media abaphuma kulonke la kuleli, thina njengeSpani ke sithatha isinqumo sokuthi sikhethe ama-hustlers amathathu afisa ke ukuba ama-advertising creatives sithi kwazi kangcono phinde futhi sibabuze ukuthi basebenzisa kanjani lethuba abanikezwe lona ukuze baye phambili.
Hi, my name is Viloshan Appasamy. I'm 20 years old and I live in Randburg, Johannesburg.
My naam is Wilmarie Botha. Ek is 21 jaar oud. Ek studeer by Open Windows School of Visual Communication en ek major in illustrasie.
Nna ke nna Kgabo Mametja, ke goletse Polokwane le Boragolo Bokoko and then ke dula Ivy Park ane jwalo na le mama le buti ya ka Tlhami.
My favorite subject was art in high school. Yeah, because we had the creative freedom to do whatever we wanted to do. And there was no right or wrong answer. There was only just making sure that everything is okay on your side with regards to your work. Well, just after I finished writing my matric finals, I was actually on my way to do music, to study music. But my dad surprised me on the way home one day from drum lessons. He took me to open day at Vega. I really didn't want to go because I was like music. So he took me there and I was blown away by what they offered. Like I didn't know there was actually a career and a degree a BA degree that incorporates all these things: visual communication, arts, film, sound. Yeah, I was just blown away. So that's when I actually said, okay, this might actually be for me. Yeah.
His dream, his whole life, up until just the 11th hour, was to become a musician. And so he studied, music, and he can read and write music. And we used to take him for drum lessons, and he did all the London Trinity exams, and he excelled at that. And I was a little bit concerned, I have to admit, about how he was going to make a living out of playing music. And I understand that just the very best get to make it to the top. And I didn't doubt that he could perhaps be part of that very best. But I was just wanting both my sons, and I still do, just to do what they love and just to be happy and satisfied and fulfilled in their career. And then that's when you excel, right?
Lerato laka la di arts, I think litomile vele mo kilomnyane, so beginning that creative gene mo kilomnyane. Bekira look at the paintings and lona bo makabangi shedi art class before kia NSA, which is I think interestor ke decide or no ke nyakwa NSA ke further interest ya di arts. Grade 10 ke mo ke decide or no a ke khone a ke nyako shala ko gae, so ke nyako tra dilo tsa di arts ka I mean ke nature. So from then I went on to NSA, go side ja Bramfontein. Ke tra di visual arts from grade 10 to matric. Family, I mean, I was always very blessed. Or family and supporting with the arts, my creative pursuits, and regardless of the science, the maths very well actually. They'd question or why said the regardless, they'd always support me. Creative, the arts, advertising, illustrations. They were always being very supportive. And till today, they're still there for me and was on support. And
Mare really mo exposed to a lot of things. And I live a khunware lebo kokware ke batho ba ileng ba ya sekolong. Gantsi a gona bothata ga ngwana ana le batswadi ba ba rutegileng. Ba khona go ka ga ngwana a itla ka career a re ke nya go di antwa mohuto. Ba khona go ka mo fa support.
Toe moes dit nou tyd raak om my keusevakke te kies. Ek het nooit eintlik geweet jy kan kuns neem op skool nie. Toe sit ek in my maandag op my bed en sy vra, "Kyk, wat gaan ons nou vat as keusevakke?" Toe sê ek vir my ma, "Ek gaan tik vat en visuele kuns." So van daai dag af toe begin dit nou nog as 'n storie word dat ek nou kuns gaan neem. Toe ek my eerste vaktoekenning kry vir kuns, toe begin ek nou eintlik besef, maar ek weet nou half ek kan bietjie teken, ek moet dalk harder werk hieraan. Toe begin dit half 'n passie kweek by my. Einde van matriek toe verdien ek die nasionale senior sertifikaat toekenning vir visuele kuns in die distrik van Ekurhuleni, en dit was nogals 'n groot eer geweest want ek het baie hard gewerk. Toe kontak my oom my ma en sê daar's ons hierdie college, open window, hulle doen graphic design en illustrasie, wil ek nie dalk saam met hulle na die opendag toe gaan nie. En toe ek so intoe gaan, toe is wow, ek het nou net the holy grail ontdek. Dit was my plek. En half deur daai hele proses het ek net myself probeer verbeter tot en met matriek. En toe ek inskryf en ek aanvaar word vir die college, toe begin ek nou meer in die designveld ingaan. Toe ontdek ek illustrasie en besef dat dit is nou eintlik my plek om te wees en ek kan eintlik boodskappe en stories vertel deur tekeninge. En deur dit het ek was ek toe ingeskryf in my 3de jaar vir die Loerie Awards en in die student poster category, en toe verdien ek 'n bronze daarvoor vir een van my International Museum Day posters. En toe, dit was nogals groot geweest want ek het nie geweet eintlik hoe om dit te hanteer nie, jy weet. Jy gaan van plaas af na awards toe. Dis nogals 'n groot ding en ek dink ek het my passie ontdek vir kuns en wat dit vir my beteken, basies, deur Open Window en die trek van die plaas af Johannesburg.
Abazali bakhe bamkhulisile, ubamzamile umnika imfundo, le mfundo le ayisebenzise phambili siwufisela lokho.
Sivula kanje-ke i-season 6 bafethu likhona la kuSpani njengoba-ke uyibonela ukuthi kugcwele kumnandi bafethu elangeni elikhulu for i-advertising industry bafethu njengoba sikhona lana eVega elangeni elibizwa ngokuthi i-portfolio night bafethu yabona lena-ke i-global industry initiative enikeza abantu ithuba lokuthi bahambe lapha bayongena bakhona ukuxhumana-ke nabo-ke ama-top creative directors aphuma konke ama-agencies umhlaba wonke jikelele bafethu ngikhulumani from Beijing to Boston, from Jersey to Kgabo bafethu yonke into zabe zenzeka khona namhlanje njengoba-ke ubabona bonke bame ngomumo ukuthi get that 15 minutes of fame athi-ke ngikuchazele ukuthi ilanga namhlanje losebenza kanjani bafethu labantu-ke bazothola 15 minutes nama-judges amathathu ama-industry expert kuyo le industry esikuyo bafethu to show their portfolios baphinde futhi bakhiphe ikhono labo baphinde futhi babonise ukuthi kahle kahle italente labo yini thina-ke njengabantu beSpani we want to know ukuthi ini lento abayifunayo kahle kahle as I say jab jab duck and yes I am in a ring.
Portfolio Night basically started 12 years ago in New York by the Art Directors Club, and it was set up because there was a need for new talent to be found within the industry. So what a couple of creatives did as part of the Art Directors Club, they decided to put they call it the best of today with the best of tomorrow. Basically give students an opportunity to meet the captains of industry in advertising and basically get a first hand and a real opportunity to interact with them and get into the business. Tonight there'll be 24 cities participating, and it happens at the same day, same night all over the world. We are here at the Vega School in Johannesburg, and we're estimating about 150 students are outside ready to show their portfolios, and then in Cape Town we probably estimate about 100 students. So all in all, about 250 portfolios will be shown to about 120 creative directors.
uKgabo Muletsano waya ku-portfolio night enyakweni odlule noma-ke abambe isikhundla sesibini-ke azange angene laphana ku-star team kodwa ukuba kwakhe laphana kumvulele iminyango eminingi.
Well, coming to Portfolio Night gave me a great opportunity to network with a lot of companies. So then that gave me a good idea of how companies work and how advertising puts me in a position to then make it better as a South African. So I'm meeting a lot of creative directors. They helped refine my style and my way of advertising and designing. And they told me that I have something unique that more South Africans should see. So having someone as a creative director tell me that I could have something to add to advertising gave me then the confidence to then proceed into doing something to get my designs shown on a larger scale, and that would then be opening up my own business. So networking with them gave me a great opportunity to come back and ask more questions after Portfolio Night, since I had built quite a good relationship with them.
We are deeply passionate about creativity, and we're deeply passionate about finding new talent. And one of the things that really humbles me about McCann is that we want to contribute meaningfully to our industry. And that meaningful contribution is through events like Portfolio Night. And because, to give you an example, last year we gave a student an opportunity to go overseas for 1 week to work with the Art Directors Club. And we gave a whole host of other students an opportunity to network and meet the people that they will eventually be looking for jobs from. So it can't be as meaningful as that. So I think that's the main reason that we are involved.
Sekuthanda ukushuba njengoba-ke izinto sezizoqala bafethu kodwa manje asamsoza ukuthi ama-creative directors afuna ukubonani namhlanje ngithi ngithukile kodwa I'm not even involved.
I'm hoping to see what trends are coming out from the younger guys with regards to portfolios. I think us as the senior guys and agencies can learn from them and obviously most importantly talents. I'd like to see what's happening, who's who, and who to look out for.
This is a stage where they're not being controlled by us and our old ways of doing things. So they've got some like liberty to do whatever they want at this stage, you know, and it's just hoping to see that come through from their work and identify such talent.
What I need from the candidates is to see honesty in their design. I want to speak the truth and tell designers what to expect in the industry, to have a clear, concise feeling of what to expect. It's very hard for a junior to enter the industry without knowing how his work's going to be judged and how to obtain a work in this very hard industry of ours.
Tonight we're looking for some fresh talent, something new, somebody with scary ideas that instill fear in anyone that listens to them.
I actually like seeing when you start feeling like a part of someone is in the work and it's not like being directed but by what they usually see. And it's like where people have the confidence enough to put their own heart into the work and not just like regurgitate what they usually see every day.
With a student night like this, there tend to be a lot of parity, you know, a lot of similarity in what the students come up with, but the exceptional ones will always stand out.
Ngithi kugcwele kuyaphuphuma isiphithiphithi njengoba ke abantu bakumedia baphume bonke ngey'bonkolo kulo lonke la kuleli bafethu elanga lelikhulu balibiza ukuthi i-portfolio night. Thina njengabespani sithatha isinqumo sokuthi sithatha ama-hustlers amathathu sithi kwazi kangcono phinde futhi sibabuze ukuthi lethuba banikeze lona bazosebenzisa kanjani to get their careers to the next level. I'm already judging them already. Siswa, are you ready for this?
I'm ready, but I'm like a bit nervous as well, but I'm pretty keen to hear what everyone has to say about my work, and it's exciting to get like some inputs from like a creative director.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've been here last year, so I kind of have the feeling, but you never know who you're going to get, so I'm quite interested in seeing who's up.
So that's nice. So you think your experience from last year is going to help you get through this one?
Yes, I think I'm going to rely on that.
All right. Yes. What are the steps I'm going to take to go to your interview and do your thing?
Well, what I took from the briefing was that it's very international. Everyone's watching you. It's very intense. There's a lot of people, and but I'm in the middle between confidence and being nervous. But we'll see what happens.
All right, you can set that bell. Starts at 12. 15 minutes. Make them count. Okay, Vilo, let's hear. Let's see Viloshan.
Viloshan Appasamy, yes, sir.
Okay.
That's me. This is for you.
What is this?
It's just a little breakdown in my actual portfolio on disc.
Do I get to keep this?
Get to keep that.
Oh, awesome.
That's yours.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm mostly going to show illustration today. I want to go into design a little bit more next year, maybe taking some short courses, for instance.
So is this your final year of illustration?
I'm doing my honours in illustration this year.
That's amazing.
So I really felt last year I kind of learned more of my own technique, but this year I really want to hone in on my style and what I'm doing, and also just get a grip of it. Because last year I kind of tried to find my feet and my style. So
natural,
yes.
Yeah.
Have you spent time in an agency?
Not in an agency, but in marketing departments. I have done lots of freelance work on my own to make some money and also for experience as well. So my CV is pretty full so far as well.
Oh,
with
great.
Lots of stuff.
So blow us away.
All right, let me take you through this.
I'm Kgabo, by the way. Illustrator, designer. This was an experimental. It was when I first started illustrating. What I did was I wanted to apply my illustration. So it started off as, it started off as just an artwork, like as just a poster, an illustration. And then I decided I wanted to apply it on skate decks, which is what I did here. So it's very simple kind of execution, but I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. And then my second bit is for Absolute Vodka. It was experimental work for Absolute Vodka. So I'll show you the illustration. Sorry.
All right, but let's go back to this. You're saying it was your first attempt.
It was my first time illustrating because I started illustrating late last year. So I started actually playing around with the technique of illustrating. And
But why
actually,
did you all of a sudden decide to get into illustration?
because I felt as though design as we were being taught was not really fulfilling me. So for me, it was just a step outside of school.
Okay, so it's a very simple identity. Let me tell you why I chose such a very black and white and very simple. I want to put more emphasis on the actual work in our actual portfolio.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very, yeah.
Is that you? That's your...
This is all mine.
That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so this is just a bit about me. My full name, when I was born, contact details, the areas.
So don't stay far from here.
No, I live up the road.
Okay.
I live up the road, yeah. So yeah, these are all the programs that I think I'm fluent in, that I'm more comfortable with. Okay, and then this is where comes my actual
Your
work.
multimedia. Let's see your...
Experienced designer, yeah.
Adobe.
Yeah, these are Adobe products.
Okay.
And I also produce music, original music, FL Studio.
You're a musician.
I'm a musician, yeah. Yes. Okay, so if you go down to the work, with my work, so I really enjoy the strategy side just as much as I enjoy the execution side.
Okay.
Because I don't find it useful to make something beautiful if it doesn't mean anything.
True.
So I put lots and lots of focus into really analyzing a brief that I get and finding very important adjectives about a brand that can help me in my campaign and my thinking process.
Okay.
Yeah. So also here's process. I look at insights. I look at the target audience and specifics, very specific.
This is my first thing that I'm really excited about.
Oh, it looks so exciting though.
Thank you.
Oh, you did this all by hand?
Yes. Hand stitched, everything, laser cuts. This is a zine about body habits that has to do with the body. So it mostly focuses on specific people. Thank you so much. Mostly it focuses on 4 people and their habits and how those habits actually become a little bit of like an irritation type of thing. So they start. Yes, that person, for instance, rubs their nose. It becomes a constant thing, and I'll show how the habit breaks loose from the body, from the person, to show that it's almost like a separate entity in a sense. Also, I show the portrait of the person, then they doing the action that has to do with the habit, and after that, I show the actual object of the habit, which is a body, like parts, actually, yeah.
So you ditched Grosh.
I didn't dish them. I was just like, it's a very manly drink, and I don't think I was gonna,
But isn't the point of creativity to break those boundaries, to showcase or introduce a different perspective to Grosh?
So did you just have to design the poster? Did you do any other communication with it?
I did some, I did the type as well.
Yeah.
So this being a multimedia campaign, did you just have a microsite and a Facebook page?
No. We had microsite, Facebook, Twitter, and we had a viral video, which I'll show you.
Okay, why not mix it? The target market is 18. Yeah, why not mix it?
We did mix it.
Oh, okay, you didn't mention.
Yes, sorry, sir. Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I mean, creativity is about being brave. It's
Yes.
about doing things.
I did initially, I did submit the piece, but I felt as though that piece alone, I felt as though it would work better for a different company, a different brand rather.
But yeah, the point of today is for us to share and me to impart whatever little knowledge that I have. And what I can share with you is that you need to accept whatever is happening. You can't say this brief doesn't work for me, therefore I'm going to do something else. What if Grosh was your client and Absolute isn't?
That's true.
So you need to work with what you have, and you need to be adaptable. Because the difference between a creative professional and a creative that
just creates
is to work with what you have.
So what we're trying to do basically with this website is create a platform for these youngsters to go out and really experience street football online. Because there's no website out there, we did our research, there's no website out there that really captures the concept and art of street football.
Okay.
So we wanted to own that. That's Stereo Stumpy. So we looked at them, we went into profiles of these guys, so these guys can follow them, his signature move, You know, so they can learn the lingo and get into terms of what street football really is.
These are real legends.
These are real guys.
Okay.
These are real guys.
Local, no?
Not local. These are guys from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Holland, yeah.
All right.
This is a poster for Durban Film Festival that I made. I wanted to create an object that is basically everybody's idea of what film could be. Could it be television? Could it be film reels? Could it be photos? So I wanted to create like an object that creates that thing that you view films through, in a sense.
Ngithi-ke ushumile kubovu bafethu sesifike kancingetshe ama-stars wethu akusenakutheshela mrawo uyaphambili ngithi yaziza intilongo ngithi ngiqiniso ukuthi sihlangana nathi emva kwekhefu la-ke sobona ukuthi amaprofile ama-stars wethu azovulela iminyango noma-ke azoyivala mina-ke ngivala itoro ngisayitoro ngiphuza amanzi on the fountain. Ngithi namuhla iSpani siseyintweni we are out and about njengoba siseveke kuyo-ke i-portfolio night nama-candidates wethu amathathu azama ukungena laphana ku-advertising industry njengoba-ke bafuna ukuba ama-advertising creators bafethu namuhla-ke bazohlangana nabo uqhwepheshe amadoda amakhulu wona-ke ama-creative directors aqhamuka kulonke la kuleli nje ithuba lokuthi bahambe laphana bahlangana nabantu kade bangacabanga ukuthi bazophinde bababone namuhla-ke isikhathi sokuthi bayenze khona lokho ngithi u-round 20 sekuyisikhathi sokuthi ama-stars wethu laphana aphushe ama-portfolio awo apresse-ke ama-personality wawo khona-ke azokhona ukuphanda njengama-creatives.
Abahasla se gore ba be lefelong le tjena go go tsho go ngata ka bona le gore ba sebeditse ka thata tse ke bonang gore ne ba tlameya ba di hatelle go go bua passionately ka mosebetsi wa bona already mosebetsi wa bona wa hlalosa gore o etsa eng empa ne ba tlameya ba hatelle gore mosebetsi o ya kae ba ikana go fumanang ka mosebetsi o le ha o ka se wine prize go salang di directors tse di le mo di tla dula di gopola gore o motho ya mofuta mang le maikemisetso a hao.
I'm interested to see other stuff because do you know what I'm going to tell you about these two pieces?
What? It's similar.
Yeah, very similar. So I'm interested to know if you have diversity within your illustration.
I hope so, because I want to be a diverse illustrator. I want to push myself and do different things. This is a poster I did for International Museum Day. That was entered into the Lourdes last year and I got a bronze.
Oh, well done.
For it, so I'm really proud of that. But I still feel I need to take my illustration even further. So I want to learn different styles, but still retain my own.
What was the concept behind this?
The concept behind this was I wanted to create a museum created out of bones. So it's almost like the viewer doesn't know, is it a museum? Is it like within a skeleton? How does this work?
So obviously there are all these layers, so like all these different floors.
Yes.
Look, it's real. Then we got newsfeed, right? So watch me. So as you scroll down, you'll give you circles with new news feeds that you can go through. So we got the Homeless Cup 2015. This is the World Cup of street football. They wanna see what's happening with our biggest. Coming in 2015 for real. It really is. I'm gonna grab it. What's happening with our biggest street footballers of our time? What are they gonna do next year? So you check out that news feed. The street dream team. Who are the best footballers right now? And who can them together? Who will they be together as a collective? Tip of the week. Every week there'll be a new tip or a thing put down. So can you see the vibe you're creating? You're creating somewhere a street footballer in South Africa and be like, look. This website's so dope. I can go on there and just be myself as a street footballer. I know where everything is. This is what I'm interested in, and it's concise, right? Excellent. Cool. Yeah, and then we did a viral advert that interacts with the microsite. Okay. So let me explain to you the viral advert before we get into it.
This is the next one. Yeah. So then this is for the DNAD. What we were asked to do is, obviously I chose the illustration brief, but what we were asked to do is create sort of posters, basically artwork, that commemorates the artist of DNAD. Doesn't need branding. It was actually basically an open brief to be just yourself and be crazy and creative. This is one of my executions. this is the Tyler the Creator poster I did.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Is this a close-up of that same thing?
Yeah, it's a close-up.
It's about Stay Stumpy being kind of like an ambassador for street football. Making street football commercial. Because right now street football it's why it's called street football. It's not real football, it's not commercialized. We want to give these people a voice. We want to give these people a voice, exactly. So this basically takes the concept of painting pictures, painting the future as street footballers. Yeah. But literally taking it with Stay Stumpy. And you'll see what I mean by painting now. Okay? Cool.
Kuthiwa-ke uma ufuna ukuphumelela empilweni ubobuza abantu abadlule la ofuna ukudlula khona. Isho sesizulu sithi indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili bafethu. So ngicela nibeke indlebe khona ukukhulu ningakufunda. Do you hear me, yo? Do you hear me? Vino, what happened to you, bro? Hustlers ngisahleli naso iSpani bafethu njengoba silaphayana ke kwi-International Portfolio Night ebanjelwe eGoli bafethu. Into engithanda ukuyisho ukuthi lo akusumcimbi bafethu emakhera abantu asengcuphekweni khona laphana. Phela leli ithuba ukuthi ama-hustlers wethu ahambe laphana ashaya i-networking, athole ama-mentorship, kwazi bani ukuthi asebenzele ke iy'nkampani ezihamba phambili khona la eMzansi njengoba ke bahlangane nochwepheshe bafethu. Phinde futhi khona ke ozoba nenhlanhla ozokhetha ukuthi ayangena laphana ku-all-star team yalaphana eMcCann bafethu ezohambela eNew York. Lucky. Kodwa manje asabe sibona ukuthi ama-hustlers wethu aqhuba kanjani khona lapha phansi. When I say I feel on top of the world.
See, a lot of this stuff I think sits in your amazing head of ideas and construction and characters and different layers, but it's very designed around you.
Yes.
So, and that's wonderful. I mean, you're really lucky that you can do that, and now's the time to take advantage of that. This is a very, very different crit, this session that I'm having with you compared to the other guys, because it's subjective. No, it's a great thing. It's subjective. You know, you're creating awareness.
It's a weird thing to crit because it's so different.
Well, no, not necessarily. So all you're doing here is you're simply telling people or creating awareness around the Durban Film Festival, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's really interesting. But the whole mechanic that you created, this whole machine, I think sits in your head. I didn't get that until you explained that. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Maybe I should just work on my interpretation.
I'm just not sure what it all represents.
I think it went very well. I got some good feedback. I wanted to know a lot about the illustration field and the advertising field, but I think I needed to learn a lot more, especially in the design field, but I'm very positive.
What did the guy or the person before me say about this?
He liked it. We just ran out of time to speak regarding the book.
I like it, but I also feel there's a lot of waste of paper.
Yeah.
There's a lot of waste of paper. Yeah. And it's important right now. I mean, you need to understand the context and the time that you live in.
Yeah.
It's about sustainability.
True.
You can't be using that much paper to say that level.
True.
Do you know what I mean? I can't fault you with your design or your illustrations, but I think the first bit is that you need to realize that you're a professional. You're not a student anymore.
Yeah.
So you need to think as a grown-up.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say you need to grow up, because that's a bit insulting.
Yeah.
But you need to think as a grown-up, because all of the points that I've raised are, from what I get, it's about you not taking it to the next level, not in terms of design, but in terms of taking it seriously as a job and as something that you want to do for the rest of your life, and how it impacts everything else.
It was positive feedback regarding how, because usually I get feedback mainly from like designers and not necessarily a copywriter, whereas he sort of pointed out problems with my respectful language, so to speak. So I think that's something that stuck out to me. Like, I think it is, like he said something about how the greats think holistically, and I need to start learning to think that way, because my design is on point, but I'm slacking with the language department, and yeah, like stuff like that was actually very good feedback that I think I needed to hear.
You could also put like, you know, like you've got, you know, the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
You could also put like all of these, right? If you had to put them in like one long extended form, like let's say like you're putting them like as posters on the streets.
Yeah.
It's like
next to each other.
Next to each other.
Yes.
You could put them. You could have all of that like So when I look from a distance, it's just like all of these colored spectrum.
Yes.
But when I go close, it's actually like some intense copy.
Exactly.
And some intense design.
Yes,
It just have like the sky logo there at the bottom, like you have.
So you're
like
saying
the beginning.
incorporate like illustrations with that?
Also, why not? Why not
into the copy?
Why not? Because you have them as visuals, isn't it?
Exactly.
You have them as visuals. So then it becomes like the third element into the craft of it. Yeah?
Yes.
Copy driven. Brilliant. I think that's
right.
also my
All right.
Mr. Experience.
That's who I am.
Mr. Experience. Give me an experience.
Thank you so
well
much,
done, man.
It went better than I expected. I was a bit nervous at first, but as I started talking to him, he really wasn't. He wasn't the kind of person that I had in mind, you know, with regards to his critique of my work. But he gave me some very good pointers. If I had another chance with him to show me my portfolio, I'd take it. But he gave me really useful insights that I could use in the future. So yeah, I appreciate his input. Yeah.
Oh snap, ilanga lethu sizofika emaphethelweni njengoba silana ke ku-International Portfolio Night kati banjele eGoli bafethu ngikutshela ukuthi kunabantu abawu-200 kati bafisa ke ukuthi babe ama-advertising creatives thina ke sikhetha ama-hustlers amathathu ke ukuthi ahambe laphana azama inhlanhla bayathemba ukuthi nabo ke basasekulo mncintiswano ukuthi bahambe laphana bayosebenza eNew York bafethu bajoyine ke i-all-star team yalaphayana sebahambile ke bawushaya ama-task noma ke ama-interview awu-2 bafethu ahlangane nabo sibone ukuthi how do they climb the corporate ladder. Emva kwama-round awu-3 ama-judges ke sewasithathile isinqumo sawo abathathu ke abahamba phezulu yibona ke abazofika kuma-final kaze iyozala nkomoni.
I think the first thing that I picked up of Kgabo is her vibe, her energy. So she's got a positive energy, and that's quite important in this business. Because as much as it's about ideas, it's a people business. You know, so when you're sitting in front of me, the first thing that happens is me and you. So it's a good vibe. And as an illustrator and a designer, she's good. I mean, she's still a student, but the one thing that was missing is a broader perspective. So she's very narrow in the way she does things. For instance, when it comes to language, she focuses too much on design, but not on the language that comes with it. So she'll break words, you know. And this, you know, if you're an artist, that's one thing, but this is communication design. So what happens is that I get distracted. So if you spell something wrong, I don't realize or focus on your design, I focus on the spelling mistake. I focus on the grammar mistake. So outside of that, she's actually a very good designer. But, and the reason I'm speaking about the things she got wrong is because those are the things that stay with you.
Cool, so Wilmarie was quite an interesting candidate because her portfolio was basically full-on illustration. So where a lot of the other students are advertising, and it's easier to crit in a way because, you know, selling pasta, toothpaste, airtime, it's much easier to crit whether it's good or bad. Her work was beautiful, so it was a nice change because I haven't seen anything that's been particularly amazing. But I felt that a lot of the work was very two-dimensional, and she could actually work technology into a creative, like using augmented reality or QR coding.
The first thing that stood out about Vilo was, I mean, he said that, I asked him if he's a designer or a copywriter or, you know, a multimedia, and he said he's an experience, you know, and I thought he said experienced, but he said he's an experience, and that's the first thing that stood out for me, and I guess automatically I looked forward to his work and what he's about to present. And you know what, if there's one thing about this whole process that goes on tonight is being able to thoroughly sell your work, sell yourself, and if those are the first words that come out from somebody like that, I'm already expecting that, and I really got that, and I was really quite impressed about it, and that's what advertising is all about.
Well, in the future, 3 or 5 years from now, I'd like to really run my own agency one day and, you know, just have big clients, best ideas, best designs, and just kill the industry and blow them away creatively.
In the next few years, I want to give regular, yes, the design studios, but also give freelancer as a creative on the side, so that or structure in terms of working for a studio, but also have my own identity, which is why I can balance freelance and working for a studio. But I also seriously can travel, like I want to play, gain experience from all sorts of places. Like I can go to South Africa fair. I just want to go out and venture and see what I can learn as well.
Ama-judges wethu nama-masters wethu amatasatasa laphana ashaya ama-interviews wawo bafethu, kodwa thina into esifuna ukuyazi ukuthi usisipule ekharakhothethela ekhaya elibona kanjani usuku lanamhlanje ukuze kube manje bafethu. Ngithi sisipula, hhayi ngempela ngidonsa zonke intambo ngithumela kuwena njengoba-ke ngila wena ulaphaya. Sifuna ukwazi ukuthi wabona ukuthi ama-masters wethu aqhube kanjani ukuze kube manje. I will just watch you on the big screen.
Hustlers, our 3 hustlers ba le tlhogonolo go fumana experience e jena. Ha se ka o fumana fela price, empa dithuto tse ba di fumaneng go tswa go bagolo ba industry ke tsona tse ba tlo di sebedisang go ikaga bophelong le go shape dithuto tsa bona. Go ya ka nna go ba mane already se ba hlotse, empa ha re lo shebang gore ke mang ya tla fitlhellang the all-star team.
Now, what we had promised to do was nominate our top 5 this evening. What we found, and this was agreed by all of the creative directors, it was a unanimous decision that there were only 3 who were going to make it through. That being said, we were about 12 in second position. That's why we're doing 3 and not 5. So, in no particular order, the top 3 of Johannesburg Portfolio Alliance 2014. Diego Rudolph. University of Pretoria. There you go. You're only traveling in a few months. Last one. Last one. These 3, 1 goes to you. Kgabo. Ladies and gentlemen, in a massive global dream with the art director's note. This is a big deal, I'm not fucking around. We will announce on Wednesday next week who our all-star is. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for participating. Congratulations to all of you. And we look forward to what you're going to do by industry going forward.
I'm very grateful, like regardless of whether we won or not, or whether we in the top 5 or not. Like it's just been such a beautiful learning experience for all of us, and it's been nice to talk to people who like aren't our lecturers and people who like we wouldn't be able to get this feedback from anywhere else except for and it's very cool to be a part of this process.
I'm really happy for those guys who won. I think they really deserved it. I mean, to see it through what everyone's been through tonight, I think to be the best of the best that got chosen here tonight is a great achievement, and I'm really happy that I got the opportunity to be here tonight.
I think I feel really good. I've got some good feedback on my work and I know what I have to improve on now. I'm also so grateful for the opportunity because you don't always get to get like crit from industry people. So you have to take all of that and comprise that within a little bundle and put it into your work. So I'm really grateful for everything.
Ngithi liguqa kanjalo ke ilanga lethu lanamhlanje noma ke ngithi obusuku obushintsha impilo zabantu njengoba mina umfana kaMntambo ngithi ngidonsa zonke intambo sengiphuma kanje wena lapha ekhaya ufuna ukwazi kabanzi about yona ke iportfolio night noma ke ufuna ukwazi ama all-star qhuba kanjani njengoba ke azihambela lapha eNew York into ongayenza ukuthi bavashele lapha ku website yabo ebizwa ngokuthi iportfolionite.com uthola imininingwane ebanzi kodwa thina ke njengenhlala yenze hlala hlana ngolesibini zabe simphethele icareer njengoba sithi sinibuyisela vyevye kuyo ke advertising sibheka ke communication, advertising and branding. Kucareer bayibiza ngokuthi brand management bafethu. Ngithi ahlangane lapho ke mina ke umfana kaMntambo sengiphuma kanje. Kodwa mafuna ukuxhumana nathi uyazimela wenzeni. Sivakashele lapha ku website yethu ku www.ispani.co.za noma ke usivakashele lapha ku Facebook and click on like ukhulume nathi khona da. Phinde futhi sifuna ukwazi sini kabangani ngohlelo lwethu bafethu. Silandeleni lapha ku Twitter ku @ispani on SABC1 @ispani on SABC1. Uyazi sihlala ngikutshela ngithi press push phanda. Ungaphela umoya, faka umoya and remember, don't look down, look up and stay up. It's time to go home. Lift anyone? Lift. I guess I'm walking.